Well, good morning, YouTube. Excuse me. Well, after a long night of repairing the Pioneer PL-530 turntable, here are the culprits for the capacitors that I replaced. I didn't replace every capacitor in there. Most of them seem to be pretty stable, and most of them are exactly spot on what they should be. These 6 here were questionable, especially these 4 right here. We were way out of tolerance on both of those. This one here is a little .033. This was one of the film capacitors. I was telling you that they had labeled as a ceramic capacitor. That's not ceramic, that's a film type capacitor. Doesn't even look ceramic. Whatever. But that one should test a .033. It was under at .032, and sometimes it was just giving me funky, erroneous readings, and I pulled it out of the circuit, and in the circuit it was really acting funny. So I pulled it out of the circuit, and that's what it told me outside on my little capacitor tester here. So I pulled it out, put in a brand new non-polarized .033, which was exactly spot on. I checked it before I put it in. So hopefully that'll fix that problem. This little guy here, he was a 3.3. He tests 3.7. Tolerance is 3.96. It was questionable. While I was in the area replacing these 3, this one was right beside us. I pulled him out, put a modern 3.3 in there at 50 volt. It was spot on. I checked it before I put it in there, so that one's good. These 3 here were the worst 3 out of the whole drive control board. They should test 4.7 microfarad at 25 volt, I think. Yeah, 25 volts. And these actually all 3 tested the same at 6.25 microfarad, and tolerance is 5.64, so 20% over, they were still out of tolerance. Each one of these read the exact same thing, 6.25 microfarad. So they got replaced with Nichicon 4.7, which they tested at 4.8 when I put them in the circuit. These are not even labeled as to what name they are. They got an SL on them. I don't know what that would have been back in the late 70s. This one has no name at all. This one, I don't know if the markings like Mitsubishi, or I think that might be Mitsubishi's mark. I'm not exactly sure. These 2 here were 100 microfarad at 25 volt. They tested in at 124. Tolerance is 120. Again, I was in the drive control board. This was right on the edge. It was an easy one to get out. These here are Nippon Kimcon type capacitors, and that might be what these here were too. They look about the same, but they don't have that name on them. One was on the power supply board, and it tested way high in circuit, so I pulled it out and I tested a little bit closer to tolerance. But still, you know, while I had that board out, it was a pain in the butt to pull out. I replaced it. The big 330 microfarad 35 volt filter cap that was on that board, they had hot glue all around the base of that capacitor. All around the base there were attached to the board. And it tested exact as what it should be, so I left it alone. It wasn't showing any funkiness. There's no hum in the audio. I think a lot of that hum in the audio was due to poor ground wire. And this piece of crap right here. This makes a lot of the noise in the circuit. As soon as the turntable shuts off, you got instantaneous background noise. Just a lot of rumbling, a lot of static. You can unplug the turntable, it stays there. As soon as you plug this in, you have that noise. I put headphones on and put this in line to find that noise. Without the preamp, you got no noise at all. So a couple new things I tried doing this repair last night. Got one of these little vacuum pump desoldering tools. Yeah, that's just the cat's ass right there. That worked pretty good. You heat your solder up, crank that down like that, and pow, got him. That worked good, because what I have been using was one of these little rubber sucker bulbs here. That works good. This works a lot better. And I kind of new to desoldering braid, so I'm not exactly sure that I used it right. Maybe this was too big for what I was trying to do. It didn't work with a damn. So I'm going to try it on a couple other jobs, and I've heard some of these brands of desoldering wick is not really worth what you pay for them. So I'll keep experimenting with that one and see how it goes. Other than that, everything was a good success. Took it easy last night, and it probably took about 3 hours to do the recap on that, because I had to tear stuff out and test stuff and find capacitors to put back in the circuit, and just a lot of other stuff I was checking while I was doing it. But it is alive and well, and I'll give you an inside view here in a little bit, and we'll listen to a record on it.